What's up? My name is Milo, and I'm trying to make a video game.
Oh my God!
Obviously, there's a lot of work that still has to be done yet. When I said trying, I really meant it. I have absolutely no background in coding or game design at all. In fact, the only experience I have making games was making a little platformer game on Game Maker Studio with my best friend in middle school. So middle school is where my dream of making a video game myself started and ended. After middle school and high school, I went to go get a degree at college to get a real job. After getting a real job in the real world, I found out that a real job and working in a cubicle sucks. It really sucks. But like most people in my free time, I have always enjoyed playing video games. And ever since I was a kid, large enough to be on my father's lap, I've been playing video games. My first experience playing video games was literally on my father's lap driving a speeder around in an old MMO called Star Wars Galaxies. I'm pretty sure Star Wars Galaxies doesn't even exist anymore besides private servers. Shortly after this, I got into all things MMO, and I dabbled in a little game called Diablo 2. Diablo 2 was my first ARPG experience, and I loved every second of it. Around the time that I was getting into video games alone, I also stumbled upon a little game called League of Legends, which I became addicted to. Highly addicted to. But I would always find time to play any ARPG that came out, or if you're Rod Ferguson, Diablo likes that came out. When I say any ARPG, I truly meant any ARPG. I played PoE 1, PoE 2, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, Diablo 4, The Ascent, Grim Dawn, Torchlight 2, the list truly goes on and on. But this is supposed to be a video about me creating my dream video game. That being said, there's something about the hacking and slashing through hordes of enemies that ARPGs bring that brings you that sweet, sweet chemical dopamine. Usually you get that dopamine release because some rare or legendary item just dropped that completely changes the entire way you play the game and your build. So like most gamers, I think I can do something similar or something better because obviously the gamer knows best. So I did what any reasonable gamer would do. I immediately went to YouTube and looked up a whole bunch of videos on what's the best game engine to make a game in. After watching a ton of these videos, I found that Unreal Engine 5 was going to be the easiest. Now, I thought Unreal Engine 5 was going to be the easiest because of the blueprint system that Unreal Engine 5 has. So I started coding. I made a bunch of systems that didn't work, a bunch of systems that did work, and a bunch of systems that I ended up completely deleting because I didn't like the functionality of them. Now, a major thing when I was going through and making all of these systems was I was following YouTube tutorials. Any indie dev can tell you that you can end up in what's called tutorial hell, where you follow a whole bunch of tutorials and know what you're doing on the tutorial, but the minute you get out of those tutorials and start coding for yourself, you're lost. So early on I made a rule for myself: make simple systems that I understand so that way I can manipulate them. Now these systems might not be AAA game ready, but they're easy enough for me to understand so that way I can manipulate them to do what I want them to do. Coding tutorials weren't the only thing that I was watching on YouTube either. I was also watching a whole bunch of podcasts by Thomas Brush, who I actually really recommend and has taught me a lot about marketing and overall indie development. So after my research phase was over, it was time to lead on to what would be my game. Currently, I've been working on this game for about 5 months or so, and the game is called Solaris. It's a story-based ARPG hack and slash game. The current systems I have in it are an inventory system that doesn't really work currently because the items don't have stats or anything like that, but you can equip things, unequip things, and it goes into your inventory if you pick it up. And if you equip the item, it goes into your character sheet. You can also unequip it from your character sheet and it goes back into your inventory. I don't have a drop function or anything like that yet in the game, but I'm hoping to make it. I have some simple AI that is pretty bad, but it does what it needs to do currently. I also have a leveling system, which you can see at the bottom there, represented by that purple bar, and a stat system that kind of works. Gameplay tags are a little confusing to me still. Thankfully, the player controller is basically already coded by Unreal because of the top-down template that I started with. I also created a semi-functional procedural dungeon creator, which I plan on using for making all of the maps in the game besides maybe the cities.
No.
Most of these systems are copied and altered systems from YouTube series out there on Unreal Engine. All linked in the description. I highly recommend that you check them all out. Because like I said, I have no idea how to code. So what are my plans for Solaris? My plans are to, of course, make an MVP, or minimum viable product, which is just a fancy dev term for something that works, but isn't polished. My personal goal, though, is to have all of the systems that I have currently in the game polished and a demo ready for Steam Next Fest. So why am I making a YouTube series? Well, obviously for my feedback. I'm making this for feedback, and also to hold myself accountable. Trying to make a video every 2 weeks documenting my progress on my game Solaris and share it with you guys. I hope you will join me on my journey to launch my first ever game onto Steam and watch the evolution of my passion project Solaris become a reality. Also comment down below if there's anything that you would like to see in the video game that you think might be fun. I might try and implement it if I have time or if I think it's a good system. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Also, feel free to give me any tips on video editing. This is my first ever YouTube video that I've made. I appreciate all the feedback and all the help that you guys can give me in the comments down below. Thank you.